Hi all, welcome to another Chess24 Banter Blitz. It's approaching 11:30 AM UK time. So let me just show you the discount code screen first. I'm just going to mute over here and show you the discount code screen. So let me just show you this. If you use the voucher code Kingscrusher, you can get 15% off. When you go premium, so chess24.com/premium, use this voucher code for that 15% off. And you can even play the world chess champion Magnus Carlsen. So he's been very, very active recently at Chess24 and owns the Empire part of it. so also there are other grandmasters and international masters, and yeah, so great opportunity to play arguably one of the strongest players of all time there. And you can start that even with a discount there, 15% off, Kingscrusher. Okay, so let's see the challenge screen today. And go to the first challenge. So, Kasparov fan. I'm a Kasparov fan as well. Okay. I'm on the border of 2700 with this game. So no pressure. I'll play Kasparov. Kasparov's favourite King's Indian defence against Kasparov fan. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Okay, so this Simish, there's an interesting gambit with c5. And in this case, I'm going to have to get my head closer to the screen as well, slightly. So knight e5, because I'm already very excited by this position. There's some tower games with queen sacrifices, I think, in this variation. Was it Bolboshin? He played Bolboshin in a blitz game, friendly game. This queen sack, and he repeated it to Bolboshin's horror. I think I got the right name in the real game. No, but he's taken out the sting of the King's Indian bishop here. So I'm trying to get some other pressure on this B file or on the A file. So it's not the end of the world. My knight's putting pressure on c4 here. If f4, knight c4, I think there might be rook b8 and bc at some point. I think this is dynamic. It's as if sort of playing like the Benko gambit with the bonus of the white king being over here. So it can't be that bad, right? Alright, here there's knight f3. No, there isn't. G takes. That bishop holds h3. But there is bishop takes and knight f3. That looks pretty tempting, actually. I'm going to go for that, because I think I can put a knight on d4. Knight f3 and then knight d4. I think. That's the assumption. So with knight on d4, I think it's interesting. Maybe e5 coming up to entrench that knight. Knight h5 at some point, or not. Okay, here it's getting a bit tricky. H5 looks like I'm a bit vulnerable, actually. On the other hand, if I allow him to play h5, it also looks vulnerable. I can't win here. b4, knight b1, queen a5 looks as though that might have something. Also b takes looks as though that might have something for rook b8 and queen b6. Will I get blasted over here or not? I don't know. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to trust the b file a little bit with this. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, can I take with the f pawn, just in case I need to use this f file? That's a bit weird, capturing away from the center. Okay, the attack continues, but now haven't I got anything going here myself? Queen b6, rook d2, and then there's nothing. If I played knight h5, would he really take that? That's interesting, if he would really take that. I think I'm going to play it like this, because I currently control g5. This might be the way to play it. with queen f6 coming on queen h6. So, well, I hope it's the way to play it. There is rook b7 if needed as well. So queen f6. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit. I hope it's not too controversial. Queen f6. If I can get these queens off, it'll be less scary. Queen f4 on queen h5 doesn't really do anything. Yes, I don't know how to proceed after queen takes h5 right now. Okay. So rook f2 looks like a reasonable move. For rook b takes b2 and probably mating before him or after him though, when he mates me on g8. I'm hoping it's before him, obviously. The knight on d4 looks good. Alright, there's a knight e2 technicality on rook g1 anyway. So can I play this? So rook g1, knight e2. Or is this too dangerous? Try and take out this battery before it mates me. I mean, I'll pre-move. Okay, yeah. Alright, thanks to the game, Xplorer fan. So, talk in detail. I'll play e4. And let's see. So talk in detail. Hi there. Alright, should I risk the King's Gambit? Being a bit crazy. Oh, I played it. Okay. Okay, not critical test d6 though anyway. Someone in the comments said the real Kingscrusher would have played the Vienna with an early f4 last week, so I think that's gotten to me. Maybe I'm not taking so many risks. I need to get back the Kingscrusher reputation. So the King's Gambit. Should I just take here actually before this queenside is important? Is a nuisance. Right. And here. Okay. Yes, give me the G file. Knight G4, Queen G3. I want this G file to play with. Well, I hope it's a good idea. If I played for bishop h6, any g6, there's queen g6 here. I've got this pawn pinned. There's no knight h5 here, crucially. That knight has been stopped from using the space. The parking space has been used up. Otherwise, knight h5 would have hit my queen and defended g7. Knight e8 is interesting. Knight e8. Maybe rook f2. Alright, that looks a little bit suspect. Oh, I thought okay. I thought there was an option there. Okay. Alright, I'll take here and then rook g2 for bishop g7. It looks strong. So bishop g7 coming up looks pretty good. I think it doesn't matter about rook g8. There's queen h5. Alright, so yeah, this looks looks as though the king safety issue is quite large now. Rook g8, queen h5. So, alright, bishop takes. And then queen g7 is checkmate. Alright, thanks for the game, Talk Detail. And we'll go on to Don Williams. And William, I think I've beaten Dom with knight c3 before. I'm going to try and emulate that game again. What did Don do last time? Alright, so we have a reverse tango. I always feel this is a sort of underrated first move, knight c3. If you can get this reverse tango position sometimes. I think the light squares are quite interesting for white. So I'm threatening bishop f7 right now for knight e5. That's the threat, I would say. I was just saying something about pins recently on Reddit. Absolute pins are absolute. Relative pins, try and rebel against them. That's sort of a relative pin, trying to rebel against the relative pin. Got to be on the lookout for those tactics. Those relative pins, a little bit untrustworthy. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Don. Yeah, I was saying in a Quora answer recently, yeah, that I noticed Fischer went hugely up in rating one year in particular. He sort of just became 2,500 one year. And if you look at his tactics, he was breaking the relative pins more and more frequently, I noticed. And you might wonder, how on earth would I know that? It's because I have some puzzle software which looked at his career, and I just was looking at the tactics with my own students. And yeah, he seemed to be getting, in one particular year, he just went from like a very low rating to like 2,500, but he was often breaking those relative pins, I noticed. Maybe he just, yeah, he became much more dynamic, it seems, at one point in his career. More rule breaking where the rules are arbitrary anyway. So if you have relative pins, I mean, you've still got to look at the resource, the candidate moves. Anything which is not in the legal rule, legal rules, you can't let it restrict your candidate moves. And like another example, people often automatically recapture, perhaps also, especially in Blitz. But if you don't look at all your candidate moves, sometimes you miss major opportunities with these automatic, moves that you think, in general, they're kind of artificial rules. I think the more you can undermine the artificial rules, basically, the more, tactical you can be. So, all right. So FG is threatened here. This pawn is absolutely pinned to the king. That pawn is absolutely pinned. Okay, so absolutely pinned. Is there a knight g5 hitting f7 again? So I might be threatening stuff soon. Well, the f7 pawn is the threat. Knight takes f7. Perhaps secondary threat is g4. I've actually had quite a lot of philosophical thinking recently about tactics, actually. I think it comes from, I saw some excellent IT videos during the week, and I was drawing some parallels. There's this guy, Scott Hanselman. I don't know if you want to, if you find that video, Scaling Yourself Up. So he talked about quite some very, very interesting things I thought had some relevance to how we calculate variations in chess, or how it's has been argued sometimes. So in particular, I mean, you can have a variation efficiency to calculate quite quickly stuff. I mean, look at lots of positions. You would imagine that's useful, but I think quite often quite often it's just finding good forcing moves. You don't have to look at all the moves, for example. So I think you can be more effective quite often just prioritizing, checks and forcing moves, and save yourself a lot of effort. And another thing I've been thinking is, the craziness of ideas, I think, especially when solving puzzles, if you don't think linearly, you can sort of visualize pieces that are missing, like a queen. If it wasn't there, this would work, blah, blah, blah. Then you can sort of work backwards from that. And also just, looking at if you had 2 moves in a row, 3 moves in a row, just because those are often, especially if you have 2 moves in its mate, that's like a mate in one threat. It would have to be parried by the opponent. So it's often a worthy thing to calculate those mate in one threats as if they are, one of the top priority forcing moves. So I've been thinking a lot about tactics recently. Okay, so bishop takes g7 or f6 or knight f7. The thing is, knight f7, rook f7, I win the queen. There's no connection here to the queen. So I think I'm going for knight f7. That looks like a priority forcing move. So without even considering any other moves, so the argument I'm making, it's efficiency versus effectiveness. Instead of like calculating this, I'm just looking at forcing moves. So it's effectiveness over efficiency. I'm starting to look at it like that. These things you can do, these tricks. So number one trick, forcing moves. Another trick, visualizing pieces missing. Another trick, visualizing like multiple moves in a row. But that's just a trick, a forcing move trick. Okay, thanks for that. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot actually, tactics recently. If I can improve my tactics, I think it has to come from sort of craziness of ideas, not thinking linearly through candidate moves like a computer would. I don't like consoles think like Grandmaster. I think you can get a lot of insight into a position just from forcing moves and just from visualizing pieces missing and these sequences quite a lot without drudgery quite often, I think. Okay, so king h1, bishop f3, maybe g4 later. So king h1, bishop f3, e5, queen e1, queen h4. This looks like a nice standard maneuver, queen e1 to h4, maybe with f5 coming up. So let's see, bishop c5, bishop d6 looks like a positional sort of idea, just to entrench a bishop there. I guess queen b6 has to be factored in as a forcing move to extinguish prophylaxis move king h1, to extinguish the forcing move in advance. That could be dangerous because they can creep up. These forcing moves in the right circumstances creep up on you generally, or the opponent. So I'm going to do that. Safety. It might be worth it. So I think I want to play bishop d6 or g3. G3 weakens that diagonal. Yeah. Queen e1 sets a trap actually, isn't it? Bishop f4, bishop c6. And also I'm going to h4 anyway, so it's a sort of natural, unless I've miscalculated. But if I played a move like g3, I'd be missing out on this diagonal with my kings again exposed. I think I just want to play queen h4 with tempo, to kick that bishop. And then maybe rook ad1. I think, okay, let's see what's happening here. I thought this was not possible because the bishop takes c6, because the rook takes f4. I think another thing I've been philosophizing about with brother actually is, and telling people, don't just look at the move. The move, if you just look at the move, you're just looking at the move, right? And you're just looking at the bishop. It's the whole position, the rook's also attacking the bishop. So it's the whole effect. It's, instead of thinking about moves, if you think about the effect on the whole position, I think that's really useful. Because then you'd factor in what pieces have been just liberated just now, all of them. What pieces are being blocked? The whole position. If you think about the whole position instead of a move, I think that's useful as well. So, okay, so Queen G3, I think leaves C2 hanging. Knight D2 leaves C2. C3 loses the knight. Knight C5 might be the best, actually, to blunt that rook. Knight C5 looks as though maybe B4 coming up. Yeah, so I don't know, for some reason, yeah, I've been collecting a lot of ideas about tactics. So B4, Queen G3, H4, H5. I think if I blunt the C file, right, Queen G3 offering exchange of queens, B4, I think B4 will be interesting. To blunt that C file. Okay. Thanks, Chesapeake, Austria. Okay, so Dirks. Hi there. Okay, so E4. And we have a French defense. So where does this take us? Is it Dirk gently? Okay, it's the author. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy wrote this. Investigative thing, which is on Netflix now. You can check out. Douglas Esmond has got this thing. I really engrossed in the agency, the fictional agency of Dirk Gently. So that's really a recommended watch. That whole thing on Netflix. So H3. Okay, bishop F4. So F8 knight. Bishop takes E5 because my bishop's hanging there anyway. So bishop E5. Should I be worried about losing the bishop? I think it's a sort of bind, structural bind against the C8 bishop here. If I can play F4, it's a bit of a bind. All right, there's a backward pawn to torture anyway. Rook E1, bishop F1. That backward pawn structurally is going to be interesting. Okay, so bishop F1, maybe H4, H5. If there was a knight F4, maybe there's H6, a form pawn. If there was G6, I'm sort of provoking these dark squares to be weakened. So how would this go? Okay, my F2's secure at the moment. I've still got the bind on E5. I'll sort of get B6 to be played. Okay, so the question here is H4, okay, knight F4 stops H5. Does that matter? Should I play this anyway? Or should I play knight E5 to stop E5? It seems as though my opponent's brewing up for E5. Maybe I should play knight E5. I will play knight E5. F2's held right now. So I wonder if I can play Queen D2 looks as though it might be sensible. Then F4. And then maybe... No, not F4. Alright. Okay, maybe Queen D4 holds F2 a bit more. It's a reasonable central square. Queen D4. Queen D2. Queen D2. I'm not convinced now by anything so far that I've got here. Not yet convinced of anything. Okay, this C2 pressure is annoying as well. I'm on the defensive. Rook E3 to F3 looks interesting. And if I took that and exchanged things off, would there be any benefit at all? What if I just aim to pin this guy with Rook F3? Looks very artificial, this. Rook F3. Rook in front of a pawn. But I can't think of too much here. There isn't a vast number of amazing possibilities, it seems. So I'll go for Rook F3. rook f3. Isn't that just knight h3 check if I play rook f3? Or do I play king h1? And then rook f8 and then g takes maybe. Maybe that's possible. Rook f3, knight h3. If I play takes, he's got queen f3. Right, I think I'll do this in advance of that anyway. Just in case it turns out rook f3 is handy. Ah. Alright, now I'm going to do this to welcome h4 with bishop f4. And I'm hoping... Actually, he's got queen e5 as well. Doubtful. Queen e5, maybe h4 is useful. Trying to undermine f4. So g4, rook f4. If g4, rook f4, if queen h5, then h4 seems okay. Not intentional, but this is a construction to be undermined. Surely. Okay. If I played g3 here, queen g4, rook f4, okay, that seems plausible. g3, hg, fg, if queen e4, bishop g2, if queen g4, rook f4, it seems plausible. g3 seems, okay, am I asking for trouble? I'm about to find out. There's a certain plausibility about it, because I think on queen g4, rook f4, queen f4, I'm holding f3, I'm hitting his queen. Okay, so here, can I play fg? So right, so g takes. Now I want to play bishop g2 probably on queen e4 to have rook g3 check. So queen e4 looks maybe tempting for a moment, pinning. Bishop h3 here with tempo. And then I would have, surely I'll have rook g1 to play with. Rook g1 seems dangerous. Okay, I leave c2 for a moment. But bishop g4 now threatens rook h3. So rook g8, rook h3, queen c2, rook h3. Rook h3 looks like a major thing. Has he got bishop c2 for bishop e4 check? Oh, that's getting a bit wild. Maybe rook g2 there. I'm still pinning his queen. I'm still pinning his queen. I mean, that was one his queen. So queen d4 now for queen g7. Queen d4, e5, f takes. Rook f1 is mate, though. Safety point. f5 here seems to threaten queen h6, mate. That looks more tempting. So queen h6. Oh. Right, thanks for the game, thanks. Okay, interesting. The Henker. I think I'll play e4 here. And I'll try this weird gambit. I think he crushed me in French defense the other day. Oh, he's not accepting my weirdness. Weird gambit idea. Okay, with d5. There's a weird gambit idea. Okay. If I played bishop d3 here for queen e2, this is a strange position. It's very strange. I think we're in uncharted opening theory right now. I want to play knight c3 without b4. Because I want to dissuade knight d5. I want to dissuade. Otherwise he's got knight f4 anyway. So here I've got a Greek gift, bishop h7 brewing up. Because that defensive knight, I'm looking at this Greek gift now. So knight g5 and queen h5 looks to flow with tempo, at least. Without an easy defense of h7 after. We'll play d4, bishop d4, bishop d4. If I castle queenside, I'm looking forward to something there, surely. I mean, that's more in spirit to try and get the rook in the attack, this rook. Or maybe bishop c1, yeah. Bishop c1 looks dangerous. So I think that d4 is actually useful for this diagonal anyway. There's also a c2 square I can use. King g6, queen c2 stops the king from doing too much. So I'm threatening now knight takes e6, winning the queen. I'm happy to just win the queen, I think. There's also a fork here. Yeah, there's no major issue with rook e8 after. These Greek gifts are pretty dangerous. Thanks, Hanger. Yeah, they're pretty dangerous. Okay, Chapa Capacha. It's a new cappuccino. Sorry. No. Dear, oh dear. It could be a new cappuccino, though, couldn't it? He could brand the new cappuccino. His name. Do you want a cup of Chapa Capacha? It sounds good. Sorry. I don't know. Sorry. It's not funny. I'm sometimes not funny. I muse over these things. Okay. Anyway, so queen e7 and then e4 and then d5. I'm like ripping open my own c7 pawn. Do I need more cappuccino myself? Do I need a cappuccino? Okay, so a5 on play. I'm safeguarding the all-important c7 pawn from this dangerous bishop. So knight b5 is going to torture my c7 pawn. Rather cruel. Very cruel. Getting a knight to b5. Mocking my a5 that I can't defend. b5. This horrible positional war that's going on here behind the scenes. Who would have thought? Anytime I play this, I'm running into knight b5 if I played for d5. If I didn't play d5, I can do this without d5. He's forced me to think controversially. E4 without d5. E4 without d5. Does that really? Okay, maybe it's gonna have to work. E4 without d5. Otherwise, I'm running into knight b5 in this bishop. I don't want to tie down a rook to c7. Bishop f5. Queen d. Okay. Here we go. Positional torture. Is that? It's positional torture today. Okay. Can I create a kingside onslaught in return? Here. With queen d7, bishop h3. Very crude intentions. Bishop h3. Rip open the h file. Play something like bishop moves, king g7 and rook h later. So rip open this h file. Is this really going to work? It's unlikely. I could prepare things a bit more, or not. Maybe rook c8, the key preparing move, before my queenside gets torn apart when my queen's over there. If I'm playing knight g4, bishop g4, hg, I'll need bishop f6, 1, 2, 3. I'll need 3 moves. I don't want to give him a move starting with knight c7 necessarily. So we're looking at bishop h3, queen h3, rook g1, knight g4, bishop g4, hg, rook g3, queen h4. I'll still need to do bishop f6, king g7, rook h8. It's the only thing I can do in this position anyway. Is it? Or am I convincing myself of that? Oh, e4 is going to drop as well. I've just noticed something about e4. Yeah, e4 is going to drop as well. I might actually need some greater tactical help here with something like knight e5. So knight g4, bishop g4, hg, knight e4, knight e5, de, bishop e5. There's no rook g6. The g-pawn's stopping rook g6. So we look at this again. Knight g4, bishop g4, hg. There's and just do this for a moment, holding e4. Oh, don't tell me there's rook g6. Oh. Rook g6. Let's give him rook g6 here. Unpin. I think I should try and unpin again. I'll need to hold d5 now. The queen's on d5. Okay, there's a knight g4. Does he really want to? He probably does exchange d5 for an exchange sack. Before doing that, can I just hold? He's going to play bishop h3 otherwise. I'm running out of options. Okay, it's on the collapse, I think, my position. If he doesn't exchange sack, probably. I assume it's collapsing. Is that f5 though? f5 trying to hold e4. Rook f6. Okay. Right, I think bishop e7 because he's going to aim for bishop e5 actually, with d5 and bishop e5. Actually, right. Okay. Rook f. Right. Right, there's rook c7 for queen f2. That looks promising for something. I'm just thinking this is promising. I don't exactly know. I think it's promising as the tempo on d2. Bishop f4. Okay, there isn't a bishop f4 just yet. Or is there? I think there is. Oh. Oh! Gulp. What did I do that for? I think I've wasted something there. Okay. I think I've wasted something there. Yeah, bishop h6 was a bad calculation. I think I was okay here, wasn't I? Was it equal? King g6? Oh, it's tricky though. There's bishop c4. Oh, it's very tricky. No, well played. It's very tricky, yeah, by that stage. Okay. Blunder Panda. I played Smith Mora. Bishop c4. This looks familiar. Rook e1 and e5. Or e5 here. Right, I think this knight is loose. So knight g5, queen g4. Okay, that's usually good news to stop castling. So queen h5 and g6, and what would happen there? Queen h5 and g6. Nothing much. Maybe knight e4 threatens the bishop and g7. Knight e4. If knight e5, queen h5, knight f7, and I'll take the bishop. If knight e4, bishop e7, queen g7. Right here, maybe I just pin for a moment. Oh, hang on. Queen. Okay, so d6, queen h5, g6, queen h6, and bishop f8. Okay, so knight f3 is threatened. Oh, there's knight f3 though. I have knight f3. So maybe I should play f4 then. Oh, there's d3. Oh, d3. King h1. Alright, let's see how that goes. d3, king h1. Knight f3, knight f3. d6 or d5 to hit my queen. Queen g3 protects the rook. d3, king h1. Oh, I didn't. That wasn't very clever, was it? Oh, ouch! No, I didn't intend that. Muppets. Knight e5 is threatened. Something. Oh, there's knight f5 for knight d6 anyway. Yeah. Or knight d6. This is seems a bit lucky, this stuff. I have to say d5 knight d6 seems a little bit on the lucky side, this stuff. Okay, otherwise his pawn would have been quite the Dennis the Menace. Okay, so knight d4 blockade on. I think I'm back in the game a little bit, but it's equal on pawns. No, I'm still the exchange down, but I'm sort of much more back in the game than earlier, surely. King f2 and g3, or g4 and f5, or knight e5 looks tempting. These knights look pretty good. Oh, he's got undermine with g5. Well, this is with a tempo anyway. Okay, I'll try and make this bishop a little bit uncomfortable in the position. In fact, bishop c4, b3. a5 just to lock down. I hate to use the word lockdown, but yeah, I'm trying to lock down the queen side. Okay, excuse the word. Okay, in the current situation of Corona lockdown, if anyone looks at this video in 100 years and wonders, what am I talking about? Yeah, okay. Okay, so king e3, king e3, on knight f5, knight d6. Try and force the issue here, resolve this tension. King e3 and rook g1. Rook g1 and rook g6 looks dangerous. Okay. Can I just do this for a moment? I don't want to sack the exchange back. Try and keep my pressure. Oh, mind you, rook e4 is a pain. I like keeping the bishop hemmed in, but it's at a cost, isn't it? I have to play rook d1 here. And also, there's another issue. This f4. Right. So can I play f5 here for f6? Or is that h5? I want to get rid of h5 as a threat. I think I want to play f5, f6. There's no bishop e2 just yet, is there? Or rather, it's not a big deal, is it? I'll take it here and then rook d7. I think I'm back in business. Knight f6 looks like mating that. Unless he's got a perpetual check with rook b3. It might be better to take out, given the checks, it might be better to take out h6 here, so my king can at least go to f6. Yeah, give my king an escape route, I think. On these checks, drill through the g5 square there. Okay. So knight f7 check, or king e7. Maybe king e7. To make sure my king's not going to get, well, hopefully not going to get checkmated. Is it? I don't see it. Okay. Yeah, I think I got back in the game there by accident. That was, yeah, I blundered the queen. I blundered the queen. I forgot about the unpinning. Yeah, okay. Okay, thanks. Pawn holder. Okay. I've been thinking to try and play something solid. I've been disintegrated from the opening in some games against pawn holder, I've noticed. Okay, he's played knight f3. Can I try and be boring with the Berlin? Boring with Berlin? Maybe knight c5. That's a point. Can I do this or not? Oh, I just lost the exchange. Oh. Yeah, okay. It was creaking there for a moment anyway. I'll explore some thing for a moment, if there's any, which I doubt, any possibility of getting back in this game. But there's an expression, I think, no game was ever won by resigning. I'll just carry on for a moment there. It's only a blitz game as well, so maybe it's more justifiable to play on. D6 and F5. I don't want to cause some complications, or is it not really? It's not really possible. Looks doubtful, really. It does look doubtful. I don't know. It looks really doubtful. Yeah, I think this is gone. Queen f7. Queen f7. Hang on. There might be rook a8 for rook a2 here. There's no rook c8 just yet. If I can get rook a2 in. If I can get rook a2 in, but that's a distant dream, isn't it? But he's going to double on here if I don't exchange now. So this looks like a disaster. As in, no swindle chance. And I don't think there's any other option apart from taking. Okay, so here we go. Queen g4. Try for h4, h3. Running out of resources. I have to throw these last kitchen sink resources in. h4, h3. Gf knight f2 for queen f for bishop e4. There's knight g3, which I assume doesn't do much. This knight is I assume it's there's no move for it, is there? So this is the last. Well, there's queen e8 after anyway. So there's not too much to do right now because there's queen e8. I mean that's it. Given that there's queen e8, I mean that's it. There's nothing else to do. I don't think h3 does anything. There's nothing else to do. I believe. Well, you know, I'm pretty sure there's nothing else to do. Thanks for the game. Thanks for the game. Okay. So London system. Oh, why am I taking on d4 that early? Actually, maybe that was bad. So g6 and bishop g7. If I castle knight e4, then there's like f5, e6, g5 coming up. e6, h6, g5. h6, g5. So if he ever took, then there's rook f4. So I'm trying to bruise something up over here. It probably weakens my position a little bit. This sort of stuff. There's knight takes and then queen b6 here on things. Or there's g4. I think knight takes seems more sensible for the moment. In fact, I mean I don't need to play any bishop takes. Maybe just queen b6. Is that something? So I'd be threatening bishop e5 and queen f2. If I had played g4, I'm weakening also my e4 control. Okay, so here bishop e5. Okay, he's got bishop e4 though. I've still got f takes and I'm still on f2 though. So maybe that makes it worth it. I wonder if like c5. Alright, so he's on d5 here though. d5's a bit of a problem. Maybe in the circumstance, maybe taking to gain an interesting tempo. Possibly, and then b5, bishop b7. I'm not too worried about rook f1, I can just take that. So say he plays knight d4, I think something like b6, bishop b7. Okay, I'm taking here, I think. b6 and bishop. Oh, he'll just play knight e6, bishop b7, knight f8, rook f8. I might have a prospect of e3. I don't know if that's too slow. So anyway, the issue is knight d4 is on e6. So what do I do with this bishop? Bishop d7? Ah, okay. Queen f5 here. Looks at e5. I think I might have to take out e5. I think I have to take it out because otherwise knight f6 is happening. Let's put this back. Mind you, this is not great now. Knight c4. It's not great. We've got too many weaknesses. He's got a nice bind on the position. Knight c4, b5 maybe. Okay, he's let me play b5 here. I think I want to play that. So bishop b7 and then rook f2. I don't want to play rook f2 first, actually, to sort of gain a sort of tempo without this rook e8 crashing through so quickly. So I think rook f2 first for bishop b7. Just give him another move to play here instead, but which doesn't involve rook e6 though, and rook e8 after. So I think I want to play bishop b7. All right. Maybe rook f6 then. Okay, for a moment. Okay. All right. Can I play rook to f8? This one looks as though my pieces are a bit coordinated anyway. On f3. h5 g4. h5 g4. This looks as though it's worth a go. g4. g4. g4 it is, I think. There's like alright, so yeah, it looks as though this is a relative pin. So yeah, I think this was okay. This plan turned out okay. Right, so rook g2 and rook f1, I believe, is checkmate. Thanks for the game, Kenny. Yeah, it was interesting. I thought you had a really good position coming out there. That was getting a bit dangerous for me. Okay, Olaf. Did we try the Nigel short variation with bishop e2? Was it last week or the week before? This theoretical discussion continues. Bishop e2, the short variation, as in Nigel Short. How does it go? Is it c4 here? I think there's an idea of sacking a pawn. I think I've seen a Michael Adam game. He sacked a pawn against Summerskull in one of the games at Gibraltar in this line. I think he got a quick f4, f5 or something. I could be making this all up. It just rings a bell. Could be a completely different position. Yeah. Okay. I mean, bear that in mind. It's probably a game I did a video of. That's why I'm mentioning it. There was this pawn sack in this sort of line. Knight b3 or knight e4. Knight e4 here looks a nice tempo gain. If he loses that light square bishop, then isn't there consequences on the light squares later? Also, like, it was holding h7, that bishop. Okay, I've sacked a centre pawn here for seemingly not too much right now. But, you know, it makes for fun games, if nothing else. Okay. Sometimes. As an example of the light square play, I do have an example. Don't I? Knight e6 for queen g6. If d3 on my f2, maybe bishop h6, bishop f2, king h1. Maybe that, yeah, because if I played that, he's got king h7. I think I've got to play that. Mind you, okay, no, I'm thinking his pawn wasn't there. I'm thinking, oh, well, that's quick. His pawn's still on d4. He's got to play d3, right? Beforehand, before doing anything. Okay, so check. And then queen. Queen goes back to g4. If the queen went back to g4, is it worth... What about queen g4, d3, bishop h6, as mentioned before, bishop f2, king h1. I think queen g4 instead of the immediate bishop e6. I don't want to have too many pieces kind of loose, if you see what I mean, while doing this stuff. In fact, queen f7 is dissuaded with bishop e6 now. So d3, bishop h6, bishop f2, king h1. When my rook supports the back row, it's uncomfortable a little bit. If rook f7, bishop e6, I'll still be threatening mate. So I'm threatening basically bishop h6, I think. d3, I'm not sure is that frightening. What if he moved his king? That's one question. What if he moves his king? Moves his king. I don't know, maybe bishop f4, queen f7, bishop g3. Yeah, that looks sensible in some respect, doesn't it? To play bishop to g3. Well, I hope so. I think I want to play bishop d3 and get on this diagonal. Actually, I don't have to take on e6. I can get on this diagonal. Right, why get on this diagonal when I get on that diagonal? Is there rook d1? Right, this is getting a little bit scary. All of this stuff. He's taken away my bishop d3. b4 here tactically. Bishop b6. Rook d2 runs into knight f3, I suppose. G takes rook d2. What if I played king h2 with the idea of rook d2 for a moment? King h2 just tucked the king away. Knight f5. Does b4 actually do anything around here? I'll just insert b4 for a moment. Bishop goes to b6. Does that do anything? Probably not. This knight f5 is pretty annoying. Maybe. Oh, no, okay, I've got to play a practical move. I think a move. I'm going to choose a move. Don't want to use too much time. Knight f5 looks, yeah, annoying. Can try and get this pawn before it's end of game with this pawn. If I can get that pawn, I can get d3. If I can get d3, I can get something on the diagonal. Right. I hope my queen's, protecting c4. Rook f2. I'll play rook f2. Oh, rook f1's dangerous. Maybe queen e6 threatens queen g8. Okay, a4 for a5. Try and dislodge this bishop. Also support for bishop b5. Bishop b5, does that do anything? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to lose on time here at this rate. Queen c1 is dangerous though. Rook d7 threatens queen g7. Has he got an immediate check? I mean, I don't know. I'm going to play rook d7. Queen e5. He's got queen e5. There's rook b7. I can play this for queen e8. And queen h6. Plays bishop g1, king g1, queen e1, king h2. There's bishop. Okay, there's queen e8 here or queen h6. Isn't queen e8 just checkmating? Yeah, okay, I got a bit lucky there. You guys trying to beat me up today quite a lot of you. It's so unfair. I just want oh dear. Oh man, this is scary stuff. Okay. I'm going to play the c4 line. My top secret c4 line. It brings back memories of the British Chess magazine. He asked me to cover some Masters tournament, which was near Covent Garden at the time, and I was having to enter all the games into ChessBase. I remember this c4 game. I thought, this is fascinating. c4. It seemed a bit novel, and I started using it after. The Drury Lane Grandmasters tournament back in the 1990s. There was this, I thought it was an innovative c4 anyway, in the Tarrasch. Or Drury Lane Masters, it might not have been Grandmasters. Drury Lane Masters? So John Saunders was running British Chess magazine, and he iframed me. I entered all these games, and he didn't put a link to my website. It just became a little iframe from the BCM website. I remember putting in all this work of data entry, and he iframed me. Yeah, cruel, yeah. Anyway, okay. Rookie, I did get something from it, as I say. I got this idea of the early c4. So in the Tarrasch, knight d2, in e5, and then after knight d7, c4. I got that idea. So sometimes, if you're a data entry slave for ChessBase or whatever, I mean, whatever, you can get some ideas from the games. There's an upside, yeah, to being a slave. Sometimes you can get some. Try and just look at what you're entering. Okay, so here, bishop b3 for knight e5, maybe. So cd, knight e5. Okay, he's going to attack me, is he? Is this signal an attack? I think it does. I think the war cry is coming for knight g4. Okay. Oh, I'm running into c4. That's not very nice. That's not very nice. Nothing much to do there, apart from second knight. As Tal says, I think it's only a knight in a different sort of situation. Usually when he's dismantling the opponent's king, he usually uses a knight, though, not a bishop. Statistically, I think. Check up on that. I think Tal was sacking his knights more around the opponent's king than the bishops. So queen b3 or queen e2. Which one? Queen e2. I think queen e2. Okay, so here we go. Loads of pressure. I'll attack his queen to get the queens off and try and grovel this position just with the clock advantage against the extra piece. It's only a 3-minute game. Let's not take it too seriously. Okay, so can I grovel this? So bishop c4 coming up, or bishop f3. Knight d3 or knight g6 or knight c6. Maybe knight. I don't know. I think I'm lost. Does it matter? I don't know. I don't know if it matters anymore. Anyway, I'm technically lost. Okay. Maybe e4, e5 though. If I was trying to be a perfectionist from this lost position, I would say e4, e5 is something. Would I? Rook e1, bishop g3. Okay. e4. I think e4 would be the move if I wanted to take this seriously. Okay, so e5 or d5. e5 or d5. e5. This is like being at the optician, isn't it? A or B, A or B, A or B. Okay. I don't know. No idea. Okay, rook d1 for d5. Okay, king h2 for king g3. Okay, d5 here looks as though it doesn't lose immediately. Right, there's at least... Oh, there's a check. Yeah, I swindled it. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Bogdan. Okay, Cobra. Cobra. Will I be suffocated like a cobra would suffocate someone? Is it cobra or is that a python? I don't know. Okay, one of those. So knight f6. Is this London system torture? Ain't you guys with the London system? So unfair. So unfair. What did I do to you to play the London system, please? No, it's with h4. No, it makes it mega exciting. This h4, Harry the h4, it makes it mega exciting. I shouldn't complain. Okay. So back to potential c7 torture here. Okay, thanks. This London system, subtle positional pressure, encourages me to do some mad hack attack. And then rook e8 or bishop e6. Alright, seems... Oh, the queen's hanging. The queen's hanging. Yes, that was blunder. Thanks, Cobra. Bobby Bunny. Is this Bob Eames? Hi, Bob. Is this Bob Eames? He's FM. This guy's in disguise. He's FM. FM Bob Eames. If it's Bobby Bunny, we've been playing on the Saturdays the London Club's Blitz. I've been carefully crafting an evil repertoire against him, noticing statistically the Caracan. He doesn't like the Caracan. When I play the Caracan, I've had good results. If it's the same Bobby Bunny, it could be someone else. It is UK. It could be someone else. I've been working my way to try and survive against him with black. If it's Bobby Bunny, okay. It's Bob Eames. Is it Bob Eames? Is he there? Bob Eames? No, I shouldn't reveal his identity. Shit. Sorry. Maybe it's not him. It could be someone totally different. Maybe it's not him. All right. Is he here? Is he here? I'm going to do this. What's this? Center counter, Scandinavian. What's this? Doesn't it just lose loads of tempo? It's an unsound opening. As Nimzovich would say, this is totally unsound. If it's a race, you're going to lose the race, yeah, with this opening, yeah. It could be anyone. It might not be the same person. Maybe that's a popular nickname nowadays. Okay. Castle and okay. The problem with my tempo gainer, it blocked the C pawn. I have to resolve that issue from the tempo gainer. Had its downsides of blocking the C pawn, which means in turn I've got no strategic break anytime soon. So in that way, the Scandinavian is not as bad as it seems as far as I'm concerned. You need C4 sometimes for D5. Okay, So anyway, can I exchange one pair of knights here? Because I want to liberate the c pawn. So even if it's with c3 instead of c4, I'll have bishop c2 with some pressure emerging, I would hope. Maybe a slight downside of c4, it runs into c5. Does it? Or does it? Do I welcome c5? Because of d5, do I welcome that? c3 or c4? c3 or c4? I think I'm going to play with c3 for a moment. We'll get this queen out of the way. c3 and bishop c2. c3 and bishop c2. Would he partake? Hang on. There's no advantage of queen f6 there. I think I want... Alright, that's possible. Is it? What if I played c4? Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop h6. Do I get anything? I get this dynamic f file, which I kind of fancy. Okay, e5 or c5 is coming my way. In either case, what if I played bishop e4? It's quite a cost to play f5, isn't it? I'm going to attempt f5. I'm hoping this backfires on this diagonal. If he plays f5 and then goes in for either c5 or e5 later, I would at least have d5, probably, in some cases. Would I? Or am I imagining this? Because of this diagonal. Bishop b3 and d5 coming up. Or maybe it's better to play b4 and then e5. If d5 cd and then my bishop's hanging. There's technicalities here as well. This opposite colour bishop scenario, I quite like it. I quite like it because I'm ahead on the clock. And I can clamp down. Or can I? Can I? Can I? No. Hold on. I think I've got this wrong. Or have I? Maybe I haven't got it wrong. There's bishop e6 for d5. I think there might be a slight edge somewhere. Is it? Am I imagining it? Could there be a slight edge to be had here with d5? If cd, rook d5, bishop d5, rook d7, e4, that sort of thing. This position. There's a 3-2. Poor majority. So if I play b4 when you play rook d7, can I not play rook d1? And the worst case scenario is bishop b3 if I need to unpin. Does that mean for a small Leela style opposite kind of bishop 180 move game potentially b5 and c6? Doesn't look that convincing at the moment, does it? But he's only got like 10 seconds. I'm threatening rook b7, so he plays that. I'm threatening a5 and rook. No, I'm not. Rook b5 and a5. So here, now that I've kicked that bishop out, rook b7 and c7 looks remarkably as though it could be useful. Right, okay. You know what? I don't have anything here apart from a win on the clock. Okay, I didn't have anything there. Is it Bob Eames? I don't know. This is a mystery. No, I shouldn't say. I shouldn't say. I'll privately message him that. No, it's probably not. It's probably not. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this week. Yeah, thanks for the games. Okay. Right. So I think I had more than my fair share of luck today. So thank you all, and keep safe. Yeah. See you next week then. All right. Thanks very much. Thanks so much.